Our next presentation, Subscribe and Thrive, the Subscription Commerce Opportunity. From OrderGroove, here's Greg Alvo.
Red button. The right button. Got it. Good morning. My name is Greg Alvo. I'm the CEO and founder of OrderGroove. And today I'm going to talk about the subscription commerce opportunity that's in front of us today. So before I get started, I want to share a little bit about myself. So if you look here, this is a picture of me playing tennis in Miami at the age of 13, sporting the mushroom cut. And the reason why I'm sharing this picture actually is because tennis was the personal catalyst behind me starting OrderGroove. When you play competitive tennis, you pop tennis strings every single time you play, and stringing them takes a lot of time, and automating that process via subscription is something I always wanted to do. So what I did was I started OrderGroove in 2008. We have now a team of just over 50 people. We've raised over $10 million in venture capital funding and have north of 75 brands that we work with. And some of those brands include anybody from a CVS to a CPG like L'Oreal, to B2B companies like Ranger. And as our network of clients continues to grow, the best practices that we have access to around subscription commerce are applied to the client base as a whole. So what actually is subscription commerce? For many of the people in the crowd, subscription commerce is really continuity 2.0. If you think back to the programs of the 80s or 90s, this is a new evolution and revolution of continuity type programs. And there's a variety of different subscription commerce offerings out there. There's convenient commerce, which is receiving the same products automatically on a repeat basis. And there's also discovery commerce, which is helping customers discover new products they might not have otherwise known about. And today we're going to focus on convenient commerce. And convenient commerce and subscription commerce as a whole is focused on retention and lifetime value, whereas traditional marketing is very focused on acquisition and conversion. And we're all about how do you take one order and turn it into 12 by taking a single transaction and turning that into an annuity. So in order to share with you how subscription commerce has really blown up in the past few years in a great way, I want to take you through the evolution of subscriptions starting centuries ago. Back when there were bazaars and people would make weekly visits to the same vendors to buy the exact same items over and over again. And then if you fast forward to a few centuries later, you had the milkman. And the milkman was actually a subscription service. But the milkman was killed by grocery stores. And grocery stores are actually, while they're not fully automated, they're a weekly purchase of the same items over and over again. And these are all the fastest growing transactions online. And what subscription commerce today is doing is it's emulating offline behaviors that have happened for centuries online in a very personalized and customer-centric fashion. And it's becoming very popular, including with companies such as Amazon. So Amazon started testing subscriptions several years ago. And very recently, Amazon switched to default all of their product details pages to subscriptions, meaning that customers have to opt out at the product details page if they do not wish to receive a subscription for those products. And this is huge because customers are craving convenience and they're not necessarily loyal anymore. Loyalty is not what it used to be. Customers go to certain stores and they don't care if they buy this shampoo or that shampoo. They're looking for perhaps the lowest price and most importantly, convenience. And the retailer is the same way. They might go to X, Y, or Z retailer depending on which one's the most convenient. But if you put the customer in control and make it all about convenience, what we're finding is they'll retain themselves. And what I mean by that is taking the model of continuity that existed in the 80s or 90s where you just locked the customer in and gave them no control and kind of flipping it on its head. And this is kind of controversial because sure, you don't want the customer necessarily to churn, but if you don't empower them and create a great customer experience, they're going to churn. And not only they're going to churn, they're going to tarnish your brand. So what we do is we take the exact opposite approach. We make it all about convenience. We give customers the opportunity to opt out, pause, even re-opt back in. And we use those as opportunities to deepen the relationship with that customer. And here's the result. Subscription commerce is increasing amongst many of our clients annual spend and customer lifetime value by up to 4x. And the impact of that's substantial. If you look at a customer that's perhaps spending $76 per year, just a standard customer purchasing once, maybe twice per year, and you apply that, that same customer is now spending $304 per year. But not only that, the acquisition dollars that you're spending on that customer, the $32 that you paid to acquire Andrea, is now being amortized across not just $76, but $304. Not 2 transactions, but 8 transactions. And that gives you, the retailer, the brand, the website, the merchant, an unfair competitive advantage because all of a sudden you can outbid all of your competitors on Google because you're getting all these incremental transactions and revenue. So with all of that in mind, it's important to distinguish what makes a successful subscription commerce program. Because subscription commerce is different than traditional marketing. And at the end of the day, it's a marketing initiative, but it's powered by technology. And technology gives marketers, a great technology and subscription commerce platform gives marketers the ability to be marketers and the flexibility they need to test and optimize any campaign that they'd like to test and measure the results via data and analytics. And back to the customer experience, a great subscription execution is all about the customer. Again, thinking about putting yourself in their shoes and trying to emulate behaviors that they're already happening and automating those behaviors. And then lastly, it's about surrounding the program with a team of experts that truly understand subscription commerce because it's different than traditional marketing. You focus on different metrics. You're very focused on retention and customer lifetime value. And when you get those metrics in sync, and when you really zone in on and tweak and optimize your conversion, retention, and lifetime value metrics around continuity and subscriptions, that equals a tremendous success. But if you do not, the difference is highly impactful as well, as demonstrated here on this graph. So this is an example where the retention rate is 50%, 65%, and 80%. And at 80%, you can see the compounding nature of the annuity taking place where this $100 million retailer is receiving $25 million more in recurring revenue per year, giving some tweaks to the retention rate. So I want to share a few case studies from our clients. And the first one here is a leading cosmetic brand that we work with. And they experienced a 416% increase in customer lifetime value. And the reason why is they have just over 10% of their customers opting into a subscription program, which means that if 100 customers are presented with the offer, just north of 10% of them are signing up. And 92% of those customers are staying delivery over delivery. So from order 1 to order 2 to order 3, on average, 92% are staying with each subsequent transaction. And that 416% increase in customer lifetime value created a $180 customer turned a $180 customer into a $750 customer. And the reason why that happened is because an increase in purchase frequency. So most sites get 1, maybe 2 orders per customer per year. And the reason why is not because customers don't want to purchase that frequently. It's because they're not given the opportunity to do so or provided with a convenient solution. And with subscriptions, you give them that convenient solution that allows them to adopt the appropriate consumption behavior that matches their personality. And in this case, with a leading vitamin retailer, we saw that 2x purchases per year turn into 8x. And you can see the incremental dollars as well. So one of the most exciting pieces we recently uncovered about subscription commerce is that it actually does not just affect retention and lifetime value. We've also seen it now impact the top of the funnel. So we launched a cohort analysis on one of the top 100 internet retailers in the health and beauty category. And we put the cohort analysis on a certain segment of customers and watched behaviors of those customers, regardless if they signed up for subscriptions. And that cohort made a purchase at the site overall by greater than 20%. So 20% increase in overall site conversion obviously equals a tremendous impact on the overall ROI of that program. And the reason behind that, before I get to CVS, is that we believe that those customers are looking for convenience and savings. And when they're presented with that option, regardless if they take the subscription option, they're converting at a higher rate. So this is another whole spin on subscription commerce. CVS is one of our clients, And they're focused on how do I improve lives by helping customers better adhere to better adherence for chronic conditions. And that's pretty powerful. And actually, just last week, one of my cousins, Lisa, sent me an email about my other cousin, her daughter, Rebecca, who has a very, very rare disorder called familial dysautonomia. There's been 500 documented cases of it in the world. And she sent me an email with a link to a bunch of websites because Rebecca was recently prescribed by a doctor a new regimen where she has to take a daily supplement to improve her health and life. And she asked me, can we automate this? Because we want to make sure we're sticking to that regimen. And that takes subscription commerce to another whole level. In addition to the dollars ROI, there's a huge impact as well on people. And that's very exciting. So in summary, subscription commerce is growing very quickly. In 2011, less than 10% of the top 100 internet retailers had a subscription program. And in 2012, that number dramatically grew to greater than 35%. By 2015, Gartner projects that just north of 35% of the Fortune 2000 companies will be leveraging the subscription model to be driving incremental revenue. And that incremental revenue is typically between 200 to 400% increases in annual spend, as well as customer lifetime value. And the reason why that is because subscription commerce gives you a license as a marketer to remarket to that customer and deepen a relationship with that customer over and over again. And when you make it all about convenience, we find that those customers are retaining themselves. And when they retain themselves, there's value not just for you as the marketer, but there's tremendous value for the customer as well. So that concludes my presentation. We have a booth where I'm happy to take additional questions in booth 1228. And here's my contact information as well. Thank you for your time.